3 months. I haven't touched her in 3 months.
The STD test results came back positive on a Tuesday. Chlamydia. Funny thing is, I hadn't touched my wife in 3 months. I'm sitting in Dr. Peterson's office staring at the paper like it's written in ancient Greek, but the truth hits me harder than a sledgehammer to the gut. Ava gave me something she picked up from someone else's bedroom. The same woman who won't let me eat crackers in bed because crumbs are disgusting has been spreading diseases like party favors. We'll need to contact your partner, Dr. Peterson says, adjusting his glasses. He's trying to be professional, but I can see the pity behind his eyes. Everyone in this town knows everyone's business. Don't worry about that, I tell him, folding the paper into my jacket pocket. I'll handle it personally. 3 days later, I'm standing in the parking lot of Vineyard Hills, watching Ava fix her lipstick in the passenger mirror of my beat-up Ford. She looks perfect, as always. Designer dress that probably cost more than I make in a week, heels that could puncture a tire, and that smile she reserves for special occasions when she needs to charm people. You remember Clarissa's family has money, right? She says, not looking at me. Try not to embarrass me with your carpenter stories. I adjust my tie. It's the only one I own, bought for our wedding 5 years ago. Back then, she thought my calloused hands were sexy. Now they're just another reminder that I work with tools instead of sitting in an office. Wouldn't dream of it, I say. The Vineyard is everything you'd expect from old money. White tents, crystal glasses, enough flowers to stock a funeral home. I spot Clarissa immediately. She's bouncing around in her wedding dress like a ping-pong ball, greeting guests with the kind of enthusiasm that makes you wonder if she's been hitting the champagne early. And there's the groom, Liam. I've heard his name whispered in my kitchen at midnight when Ava thought I was asleep. Seen it flash across her phone screen when she was just checking work emails. He's exactly what I pictured. Tall, clean, the kind of guy who probably irons his underwear. Ava! Clarissa practically launches herself across the courtyard, arms spread wide. You made it! You look absolutely stunning! They hug like they haven't seen each other in years instead of last Thursday when Ava was supposedly at yoga class. That's when I notice something interesting. Clarissa's hand lingers on Ava's back, and they share this look. Not a best friend's look. Something deeper. My brother Troy appears at my elbow with 2 beers. Fancy place, he says, but his eyes are on Ava and Clarissa. Troy's got good instincts, always has. Yeah, real fancy. I take a swig of beer and watch my wife lean in close to whisper something in the bride's ear. Whatever she says makes Clarissa blush and giggle. Everything okay with you two? Troy asks. I pat my jacket pocket where the test results are folded. Never better. The ceremony is picture perfect. Clarissa floats down the aisle like she's walking on clouds, and Liam actually tears up when he sees her. For a second, I almost feel bad about what's coming. Almost. But then I catch Ava staring at the groom with this hungry look, and the feeling passes. After the I do's and the rice throwing, we move to the reception tent. I'm seated at table 7 with Troy, Ava, and a bunch of Clarissa's college friends who keep talking about their marketing jobs and European vacations. Ava fits right in, laughing at their jokes and sharing stories about her interior design clients. I excuse myself to use the bathroom and take a detour past the head table. That's when I hear it. I still can't believe you're married to him, one of the bridesmaids is saying to Clarissa. I mean, after everything with you and Ava and… Shh. Clarissa cuts her off, glancing around nervously. That's ancient history, Meg. Ancient history. Right. I file that away and head back to my table, but I make another stop at the bar. The bartender's a kid, maybe 22, probably working his way through college. Tough crowd, I say, nodding toward the fancy guests. He laughs. You're telling me. Half these people have been asking for drinks I've never heard of. I bet you hear all kinds of things back here, I say, sliding him a 20. People talk when they're drinking. His eyes light up at the tip. Oh man, you have no idea. Like earlier, the bride's cousin was telling her friend that the bride and one of the bridesmaids used to… He pauses, probably realizing he shouldn't gossip. Used to what? He leans closer. Share boyfriends in college. Like, at the same time, if you know what I mean. I know exactly what he means. The dinner starts with speeches. Clarissa's father talks about how proud he is. Liam's best man tells some story about college pranks. And then it's time for the maid of honor speech. Ava stands up, gorgeous and poised, and starts talking about friendship and loyalty and how happy she is for the perfect couple. I'm only half listening because I'm watching faces. Clarissa looks nervous. Liam keeps checking his watch. And there's this tension in the air that nobody else seems to notice. That's when I see my opportunity. I stand up slowly, and the whole table goes quiet. Then, the tables around us. Pretty soon, the entire reception is staring at me, this guy in the cheap suit who doesn't belong here. Sorry to interrupt, I say, loud enough for everyone to hear, but I think there's something everyone should know. Ava's face goes white. Honey, what are you? I pull the test results from my pocket and hold them up. Got some interesting news from my doctor this week. Seems I picked up a little souvenir. Chlamydia, to be specific. Gasps ripple through the crowd. Clarissa drops her wine glass and it shatters on the ground with a crash that echoes through the suddenly silent tent. Now here's the funny thing, I continue, my voice carrying over the shocked whispers. I haven't been with anyone except my loving wife here. So either this is the most miraculous medical mystery in history. I pause for effect. Or it's because she got knocked up by the groom a week ago and she's on antibiotics. The silence is deafening. You could hear a pin drop in the next county. Then Clarissa stands up, swaying slightly. Her perfect wedding makeup is starting to run, and her hands are shaking. Everyone, she says, her voice barely above a whisper. I need to make a confession. She looks directly at Liam, then at Ava, then out at the crowd of family and friends who flew in from all over the country for this moment. The truth is, her knees buckle and she grabs the edge of the table for support. Part 2, Confessions and Carnage. Clarissa doesn't hit the ground. Her maid of honor, some blonde named Sarah, catches her arm and helps her back into her chair. But the damage is done. Every eye in that tent is locked on the head table like we're watching the final episode of some twisted reality show. The truth is, Clarissa starts again, her voice stronger now. Ava and we shared Liam 3 months ago and 2 weeks ago, and she's crying now, mascara running down her cheeks in black rivers. Last Saturday, the tent explodes, literally explodes with voices. Clarissa's mother screams something that sounds like, "How could you?" Liam's groomsmen are on their feet, one of them shouting, "Dude, what the hell?" And somewhere in the chaos, I hear Clarissa's father threatening to destroy that lying bitch. But I'm watching Ava. My beautiful, charming, diseased wife is sitting frozen in her chair like a deer in headlights. Her mouth is opening and closing, but no sound is coming out. There's more, I announce, and somehow my voice cuts through the noise. Maybe it's because I'm the only calm person in a sea of panic. See, I've been doing a little detective work. I pull out my phone and connect to the tent's sound system. Took me 15 minutes and a $50 bribe to the DJ, but it was worth it. This is from Ava's car Bluetooth system. Tuesday night when she said she was working late. The first voice that comes through the speakers is Ava's, breathy and excited. I can't believe we're doing this in your car. What if someone sees? Then a man's voice, definitely not mine. Nobody comes to this parking lot after dark. Besides, you said your husband thinks you're at yoga. Yoga! Ava's voice laughs. God, he's so stupid. He actually bought me a yoga mat for my birthday. The tent has gone dead silent except for the audio. I can see people pulling out their phones, probably recording this for social media. Clarissa's wedding is about to go viral for all the wrong reasons. The recording continues with sounds I don't need to describe, but let's just say it's clear they weren't discussing downward dog positions. Turn it off! Ava finally finds her voice, standing up so fast her chair falls over. Turn it off right now. Why? I ask, pausing the audio. This is the real you, isn't it? The woman who's been lying to me for months while I worked 60-hour weeks to pay for your spa treatments and shopping trips? Liam stands up, his face red with either anger or embarrassment. Hard to tell which. You're insane, man. This is our wedding day. Your wedding day? I laugh, and it comes out darker than I intended. Brother, your bride just confessed to sharing you like a Netflix password. I'd say the wedding's already over. That's when Liam loses it. He grabs the edge of the head table and flips the whole thing. Plates, glasses, and the 3-tier wedding cake go flying. Clarissa screams as frosting splatters across her dress. The best man tries to grab Liam's arms, but he's swinging wild punches at the air. You ruined everything, he shouts at me. This was supposed to be perfect. Perfect! I step closer, and something in my voice makes him stop swinging. Perfect would have been keeping your hands off my wife. Perfect would have been Clarissa keeping her mouth shut about your little threesome adventures. But here we are. Security guards appear from nowhere, probably vineyard staff who've seen enough wedding disasters to know when things are getting out of hand. They start herding the screaming relatives toward the exits while Clarissa sits in her ruined dress, crying into her hands. I light a cigarette in the parking lot, ignoring the no smoking signs. My hands aren't even shaking. 5 years of marriage, and I feel more relaxed than I have in months. That's when I hear footsteps behind me, heavy, deliberate. I turn around and see a guy I don't recognize, tall, muscular, wearing a tight polo shirt that shows off his gym membership. "You think you're real smart, don't you?" he says, getting close enough that I can smell his protein shake breath. "Smart enough," I say, taking a drag of my cigarette. "You must be the personal trainer." His face gives him away immediately. This must be lover number 2. "Ava told me you were pathetic," he continues. "But I didn't think you were crazy enough to destroy your own marriage." I drop my cigarette and crush it under my heel. "My marriage was destroyed the minute she started screwing around with you and half the town. I just made it public." He takes another step forward, probably trying to intimidate me with his biceps. "You need to back off, old man. Ava's going through enough without you stalking her." "Stalking?" I laugh. "I'm her husband. And last I checked, you were the one sneaking around parking lots and gym storage rooms." That hits home. His face goes red and he clenches his fists. "How did you know about the gym?" "Easy." I walk over to his car, a pristine white BMW that probably costs more than I make in 2 years. "See, when you're married to someone, you pick up their habits. Ava always parks next to expensive cars because she thinks it makes her look successful." I pick up a rock from the vineyard's decorative landscaping. "And when you're sleeping with someone's wife, you should probably check for security cameras." Before he can react, I bring the rock down on his driver's side mirror. It shatters with a satisfying crack. "What the hell?" He lunges toward me, but I sidestep and grab his phone out of his hand. It hits the asphalt and skitters across the parking lot, the screen spiderwebbing on impact. "You slept with a married woman in a Kia Soul," I tell him, dropping the rock. "Your life's already in ruins." He stares at his broken phone, then at his shattered mirror, then back at me. For a second, I think he might actually swing at me. But something in my face must warn him off because he just shakes his head and gets in his car. "This isn't over," he calls through his rolled-down window. "Yeah," I say, lighting another cigarette. "It is." As his BMW disappears down the vineyard's winding driveway, I realize I'm smiling for the first time in months. Part 3. Tracker Games. Wade Miller used to be a cop before he retired and started asking me to build custom cabinets for his man cave. He's got the kind of face that's seen everything twice and wasn't impressed the first time. "So let me get this straight," he says, sipping coffee in my workshop while I sand a piece of oak. "Your wife's been cheating, you blew up her best friend's wedding, and now you want to know the legal boundaries of revenge." Something like that. Wade chuckles. "Well, the good news is adultery ain't illegal in this state. The bad news is stalking, harassment, and destruction of property are. What about tracking someone's car? If it's your car, registered in your name, and you're married?" He shrugs. "Gray area. Judges don't like it, but it's not technically illegal if you own the vehicle." I stop sanding. "What if I told you I co-signed for her car loan?" "Then I'd say you're entitled to know where your property is at all times." Wade grins. "Hypothetically speaking. The tracker cost me $200 in an hour on YouTube to learn how to install it. Amazing what you can accomplish with basic tools and spite as motivation. For 3 days, I watch Ava's patterns on my phone app. Home to work to the gym to something called Mountain View Spa, then back home. Normal routine, except for the 40-minute detours that don't match up to any known addresses. On Thursday, the tracker leads me to a cabin development about 20 miles outside town, the kind of place rich people buy as weekend retreats and use twice a year. I park behind a cluster of pine trees and watch through binoculars as Ava's silver sedan pulls up to a cabin with a red door. She's not alone. The man who gets out of the passenger seat is older than her other boyfriends. Maybe 45, silver hair, expensive casual clothes. They don't waste time with small talk. He has his hands on her before they reach the front door. I wait 15 minutes, then approach the cabin from the back. The bedroom window is cracked open and I can hear everything. Every moan, every whispered endearment, every lie about how her husband doesn't understand her. My phone has a decent camera and excellent audio recording capability. The next morning, I'm back at the gym where Ava has her personal training sessions. It's one of those places with juice bars and motivational posters about crushing your limits. the kind of gym where people go to be seen more than to work out. I've been a member here for exactly 1 day, paid the monthly fee, and got the full tour from a 19-year-old kid named Brad, who kept talking about optimizing my fitness journey. What Brad didn't mention during his tour is that the yoga studio has glass walls and the hot yoga classes start at 6 a.m. when the lighting is perfect for recording. Ava shows up right on time, wearing those expensive yoga pants that probably cost more than my grocery budget. Her instructor is the same guy from the audio recording, Mr. Protein Shake from the wedding parking lot. They start with normal stretches, downward dog, warrior pose, the usual stuff you'd expect from a yoga class. But after about 10 minutes, when they think nobody's watching, the poses get more creative and more intimate. I'm sitting in the gym's cafe area, pretending to read a fitness magazine while my phone records through the glass wall. The cafe is mostly empty at this hour, just me and two elderly women discussing their book club. "Is that your wife?" one of them asks, nodding toward the yoga studio. "Ex-wife," I say, not looking up from my magazine. "Divorce proceedings? Oh, I'm sorry, dear, that must be difficult. It's getting easier every day." 20 minutes later, I have enough footage to end 3 marriages and at least 2 careers. The gym's WhatsApp group gets an anonymous video message that evening with the subject line, "Hot Yoga with Steve and Ava, educational purposes only." By Friday morning, Steve the trainer has been fired, his girlfriend has changed her Instagram status to single, and the gym is considering a policy change about after-hours studio usage. Ava doesn't come home Friday night or Saturday. The tracker shows her car parked at various hotels around the county, the kind of places that rent rooms by the hour and don't ask too many questions. Sunday morning, she finally shows up at her interior design studio. I know this because I'm sitting in my truck across the street, drinking gas station coffee and watching her unlock the front door. She looks terrible. Hair unwashed, clothes wrinkled, makeup that's been slept in and reapplied too many times. This isn't the polished woman who used to spend 2 hours getting ready for grocery runs. I wait until she's been inside for 30 minutes, then cross the street and try the front door. Locked, but I've got keys. Perks of being married to someone who trusts you with her business. The studio is all white walls and modern furniture, the kind of place that makes you afraid to touch anything. Ava's sitting at her desk, staring at her computer screen like it holds the secrets of the universe. "Rough week?" I ask. She jumps so hard she knocks over her coffee mug. Brown liquid spreads across her pristine white desk and drips onto the expensive carpet. "What are you doing here?" Her voice is hoarse, like she's been crying or screaming, maybe both. "Brought you a present." I set a wrapped frame on her desk, right in the middle of the coffee puddle. "I don't want anything from you. Trust me, you'll want to see this." She unwraps it slowly, like she's expecting a bomb. When she sees what's inside, her face goes white. It's a professional quality print of her and Steve in the yoga studio, captured at the exact moment when their stretching session became something else entirely. The photo is clear enough to see faces, intimate enough to end careers, and artistic enough to hang in a gallery. Below the photo, I've added a small placard like you'd see in a museum. "Namaste, bitch." She stares at the photo for a long time without speaking. When she finally looks up, there are tears running down her cheeks. "What do you want?" she whispers. "Want?" I sit down in the chair across from her desk. "I want a lot of things. I want the last 5 years of my life back. I want the money I spent on your spa treatments and shopping sprees. I want to not have to take antibiotics because my wife gave me diseases from her collection of boyfriends. I never meant for it to happen like this." "Like what? You never meant to get caught? Or you never meant to destroy your best friend's wedding while you were at it?" She doesn't answer, just stares at the photo like it might change if she looks long enough. "The thing is, Ava," I continue, "I'm not done. This is just the beginning. See, I've got videos of you and Steve. I've got audio recordings of you and whoever owns that cabin. I've got photos of you with at least 3 different men in the last month alone. You can't what? Can't share them? Can't post them online? Can't make copies for your clients and your mother and everyone at the country club?" I lean forward. "Actually, I can, and I will, unless you do exactly what I tell you to do." "What do you want me to do?" I stand up and head for the door. "I'll be in touch." "Wait," she calls after me. "What am I supposed to tell people?" I pause in the doorway. "Tell them you're taking a yoga class. I hear Steve's available for private sessions." Part 4. The auction house trick. The Riverside Community Center hosts a charity auction every October to raise money for the local food bank. It's the kind of event where the town's wealthy residents bid ridiculous amounts on donated items so they can feel good about themselves while writing off tax deductions. This year, Ava volunteered to create a slideshow presentation about interior design trends. She's been working on it for weeks, staying late at her studio to perfect every slide, every transition, every font choice. It's going to be her big moment, a chance to network with potential clients and rebuild her reputation after the wedding disaster. What she doesn't know is that I've been working on the presentation too. The community center's tech setup is about what you'd expect from a building that was constructed in 1987 and hasn't been updated since. Ancient projectors, tangled cables, and a sound system that cuts out if someone microwaves their lunch in the kitchen. The volunteer coordinator, Mrs. Henderson, was thrilled when I offered to help with the technical side. "Are you sure you know what you're doing?" she asked when I showed up with my toolbox. "Ma'am, I wire houses for a living. I think I can handle a PowerPoint presentation." What I actually handled was swapping out Ava's flash drive with one of my own. Same brand, same color, same capacity. She'll never notice the difference until it's too late. The auction starts at 7 p.m. sharp. I'm sitting in the back row, wearing my good jeans and a button-down shirt that doesn't have paint stains on it. The crowd is exactly what you'd expect. Couples in their 40s and 50s, women wearing jewelry worth more than my annual income, men who smell like expensive cologne and stock portfolios. Ava takes the stage wearing a black dress and her most professional smile. She looks nervous, but that's normal. Public speaking isn't her favorite thing, even when she's talking about something she loves. "Good evening, everyone," she begins, her voice carrying clearly through the center's speakers. "Tonight I want to talk about creating beautiful spaces that reflect your personal style and enhance your daily life." She clicks her remote, and the first slide appears on the projection screen behind her. Except it's not the slide she's expecting. Instead of her carefully designed title screen with elegant fonts and color schemes, the audience sees a screenshot of a text message conversation. The contact name at the top reads Steve, and the messages are explicit. "Steve, can't wait to see you after your husband leaves for work tomorrow." "Ava, he's so clueless. I told him I was going to a design conference." "Steve, maybe we should invite Richard to join us this time." "Ava, you're so bad, but I like the way you think." The audience shifts uncomfortably in their seats. A few people pull out their phones, probably wondering if they're supposed to be seeing this. Ava stares at the screen in horror, clicking her remote frantically. The second slide is another text conversation, this one with a contact named Rich. "Rich, your husband called the cabin asking about rental rates." "Ava, shit, do you think he knows?" "Rich, doesn't matter, I told him we're booked through Christmas." "Ava, you're amazing. I'll show you how grateful I am tonight." "There's been a mistake," Ava announces, her voice cracking slightly. This isn't my presentation." But the slides keep coming. Photo after photo, message after message. A complete digital timeline of her affair with multiple men. The community center falls silent, except for the sound of phones buzzing as people start taking pictures of the screen. One slide shows her at the cabin with Richard, both of them in a hot tub that definitely wasn't being used for relaxation. Another shows her and Steve in various yoga positions that would never be taught in a legitimate class. And then there are the messages to other men I haven't even identified yet. "Stop it!" Ava screams, throwing her remote at the projection screen. "Turn it off!" I stand up from my seat in the back. "Having technical difficulties, honey?" Every head in the room turns to look at me. I walk slowly down the center aisle, like I'm approaching the altar at a wedding. Except this time I'm not the one making vows I'll regret. "See, folks," I announce to the crowd, "my wife here has been teaching some very creative interior design classes. Turns out she's really good at decorating other people's bedrooms." Mrs. Henderson is frantically trying to unplug the projector, but I spent 20 minutes this afternoon making sure all the cables were secured with zip ties. Nothing's getting disconnected easily. The final slide appears on screen, a photo I took through the cabin window showing Ava and two men in a position that would make a yoga instructor blush. Below the photo, I've added text in the same elegant font she uses for all her professional presentations. Some design trends never go out of style, available for private consultations, references available upon request. "I guess I should have cleared my browser history," I say, loud enough for everyone to hear. Ava stumbles off the stage, pushing past confused auction goers and horrified volunteers. The black dress that made her look so professional 5 minutes ago now makes her look like she's fleeing a funeral, her own funeral. I calmly walk to the refreshment table and pour myself a glass of champagne from the bottle that was supposed to be used for the victory toast. The auction is officially over, but the entertainment is just getting started. People are already posting the photos on social media. I can see the blue glow of phone screens all around the room as the evidence spreads through Facebook and Instagram faster than wildfire. By tomorrow morning, everyone in town will know exactly what kind of interior design services Ava has been providing. Mrs. Henderson approaches me with a combination of confusion and anger on her face. What just happened? What was that about? That, I tell her, raising my champagne glass, was the most honest presentation about interior design this community has ever seen. Outside in the parking lot, I can hear shouting. Through the center's windows, I watch Ava arguing with someone near her car. It's my brother Troy, and he doesn't look happy. Time for the next phase. Part 5. The groom's garage. Troy's truck is parked sideways across Ava's sedan, blocking her from leaving the community center parking lot. She's pacing back and forth like a caged animal while he leans against his bumper with his arms crossed. "Move your truck, Troy," she's saying when I walk outside. "I need to leave, now." "Yeah, I don't think so," Troy replies. "See, I just got off the phone with our mom. Seems like you've been telling her some interesting stories about my brother." I stop walking. "What kind of stories?" Troy's jaw is set in that expression that means someone's about to get hurt. "According to Mom, you've been abusive, controlling, jealous. Ava here has been filling her head with all kinds of lies about how you've been treating her." "That's not," Ava starts. "Shut up," Troy cuts her off, and his voice has that cop tone he learned during his brief stint in security. "I'm talking to my brother." "What exactly did she tell Mom?" I ask. "That you've been tracking her car, following her around town, threatening her boyfriends." Troy pushes off from his truck and takes a step toward Ava. "She even suggested that maybe Mom should be worried about your mental state." The parking lot suddenly feels too small. Cars are driving past slowly, their occupants craning their necks to watch the drama. Word about the auction presentation has already started spreading. "Is that right, Ava?" I ask. "You've been playing the victim card with my family?" "I had to protect myself," she says, but her voice lacks conviction. "After what you did tonight, after the wedding, after all your stalking." "Stalking," I repeat the word slowly. "That's what you call a husband trying to figure out why his wife gave him a sexually transmitted disease?" Troy's head snaps toward me. "She gave you what?" I pull the medical papers from my jacket and hand them to him. Troy reads for about 10 seconds before his face turns red. "Chlamydia," he says. "You gave my brother chlamydia." "It was an accident," Ava protests. "I didn't know." "You didn't know you were screwing half the town?" Troy's voice is getting louder. "You didn't know that actions have consequences?" A car pulls into the parking lot, a white BMW with a shattered side mirror. Steve, the personal trainer, parks near the building and gets out, probably coming to rescue his girlfriend from the angry relatives. This keeps getting better. "Ava!" Steve calls out, jogging toward us. "I saw the posts on Instagram. Are you okay?" "Oh, look," I say. "It's the yoga instructor. How's the unemployment treating you, Steve?" He stops jogging when he sees Troy, who's about 6 inches taller and 50 pounds heavier. "Who are you supposed to be?" "I'm the brother," Troy says. "And you're the idiot who's been screwing around with a married woman in a public gym." "That's between me and her," Steve says, but he's backing away from Troy's intimidating presence. "No," I correct him. "That's between you and me." "Since you've been using my wife's body like a rental car?" I walk over to Steve's BMW and examine the damage from our parking lot encounter at the wedding. The side mirror is held together with duct tape, and there are scratches along the door where the glass fell. "Nice repair job," I tell him, very professional. Then I notice something interesting in his back seat, a baseball bat, aluminum, well used, probably left over from his high school glory days. "Mind if I borrow this?" I ask, opening his car door. "Hey, you can't just—" But I'm already walking toward Ava's sedan with the bat in my hands, the car she bought with money from her design business. The business that exists because I worked overtime for 3 years to pay for her certification classes and startup costs. The first swing takes out the passenger side headlight. The sound is incredibly satisfying, a sharp crack followed by the tinkle of falling glass. "Stop!" Ava screams. "You're insane!" The second swing dents the hood. The third spiders the windshield. By the fourth swing, I'm not thinking about revenge anymore. I'm thinking about every lie she told, every night she came home late, Every time she made me feel like I wasn't good enough for her. Steve starts toward me, probably thinking he's going to be the hero. That's when Troy steps in front of him. I wouldn't, Troy advises. My brother's having what you might call a breakthrough moment. I switch to the tires. 2 quick swings and both passenger side tires are flat. The car settles down on that side like a wounded animal. There, I say, tossing the bat back to Steve. Now we're even for the STD. Ava is crying again, but these aren't the delicate tears she used to shed when she wanted sympathy. These are big, ugly sobs that make her makeup run in dark streams down her cheeks. You destroyed my car, she manages between sobs. I damaged community property, I correct her. According to our marriage license, I own half of everything you own, including that car. A police cruiser turns into the parking lot, probably responding to calls about the disturbance. Great. Just what this situation needs. The cop who gets out is someone I recognize, Officer Davis, who pulled me over for speeding last year and gave me a warning instead of a ticket because he knew I was rushing to get to Ava's mother's birthday dinner. Evening, folks, Davis says, looking around at the damaged car, the crying woman, and the 2 men holding a baseball bat. Getting reports of some kind of disturbance. No disturbance, officer, I say. Just some property maintenance on my wife's vehicle. Davis walks around the sedan, noting the broken lights, dented hood, and flat tires. This your car, ma'am? It's registered in both our names, I answer before Ava can speak. Marriage is a wonderful institution. I see. Davis looks at Ava, who's still crying. Ma'am, do you want to press charges for destruction of property? Ava wipes her nose with the back of her hand, smearing mascara across her cheek. I don't know. Can I? Well, Davis says slowly, if the vehicle is registered in both names and you're still legally married, he shrugs. Gets complicated. Might be more of a civil matter than criminal. Steve steps forward, still holding his bat. What about assault? He threatened me with my own bat. Did he hit you with it? Davis asks. Well, no, but then there's no assault. Davis turns back to me. Though I'd recommend finding a more constructive way to work through your marital issues. Oh, I'm just getting started on the constructive part, I tell him. Davis doesn't look amused. Maybe you folks should call it a night, and maybe consider some professional counseling. Great idea, I say. I know a yoga instructor who might be available. Though he's currently between jobs. Steve's face goes red, but he doesn't say anything. Smart move, considering Troy is still standing between us looking like he's hoping for an excuse to throw a punch. The police cruiser drives away, and we're left standing in the parking lot like actors after the curtain falls. Ava's car looks like it lost a fight with a wrecking ball. Steve is clutching his baseball bat like a security blanket, and Troy is grinning like Christmas morning. Well, I announce, this has been fun, but I've got work to do tomorrow. Work? Ava's voice is hoarse from crying. What work? You can't just destroy everything and walk away. Actually, I say, heading toward my truck. That's exactly what I can do. See, you destroyed our marriage. I'm just returning the favor with your car. This isn't over, Steve calls after me. You can't keep harassing her like this. I stop and turn around. Harassing her? I thought I was just being creative with my interior design skills. Isn't that what this is all about? Redesigning spaces? You're sick, Ava says. You need help. What I need, I tell her, is a divorce lawyer. What you need is a better understanding of cause and effect. Troy climbs into his truck and starts the engine. Coming to Mom's for dinner Sunday? He asks through his rolled-down window. Wouldn't miss it, I say. I'm sure Mom will want to hear the real story about my abusive behavior. Ava's face goes white. She knows exactly what I mean. I drive home to our empty house. My house now, really, since I doubt she'll be coming back tonight, or any night. The place feels different without her constant presence, her expensive perfumes and scattered makeup and complaints about my dirty work clothes. It feels peaceful. The next morning starts early. I'm at Liam's house by 7 a.m., dressed in my work clothes and carrying a clipboard like I belong there. The house is one of those modern monstrosities with too much glass and not enough character, but it's in the expensive part of town where all the young professionals live. I ring the doorbell and wait. After about 30 seconds, Liam answers wearing pajama pants and a college t-shirt that's seen better days. His hair is sticking up at odd angles, and he's got the kind of stubble that says he hasn't been sleeping well. Can I help you? He asks, squinting in the morning sunlight. Delivery, I say, holding up a small package. Need a signature? He takes the package without really looking at it, signs my clipboard, and starts to close the door. That's when he reads the return address label I printed up special for the occasion. Ava's Loyalty Rewards Program, he reads out loud. Then his eyes go wide. What the hell is this? Open it and see. Inside the package is a box of condoms, the expensive kind, along with a membership card I designed on my computer. It's got Ava's photo from her business website and text that reads, "Congratulations! You've earned enough points for a free upgrade to our premium cheating package. Present this card for expedited service." Liam stares at the card for a long time. "You're that guy. From the wedding." "I'm that guy from a lot of places, actually. I'm the guy whose wife gave him chlamydia. I'm the guy who pays for the car you had sex in. I'm the guy who's been listening to audio recordings of you calling my wife baby while planning your wedding to her best friend. Look, man, I'm sorry about—" "Sorry?" I step closer to his front door. "You're sorry? Let me ask you something, Liam. When you were inside my wife, did you think about me at all? Did you wonder what kind of man works 60 hours a week to pay for another man's entertainment?" His face goes red. "It wasn't like that." "What was it like?" It was complicated. Ava and I have history. We dated in college before I met Clarissa, and when we reconnected—" "When you reconnected, you decided to share her with your fiancé? Real romantic, brother?" "Clarissa was into it," he protests. "It was her idea to include Ava in our relationship. She thought it would be exciting." Exciting. I repeat the word like it tastes bad. "And how's that working out for everyone now?" He doesn't answer, just stands there holding the box of condoms like evidence in a trial. "Here's what's going to happen," I tell him. "You're going to stay away from my wife. You're going to stay away from my family. If I see you anywhere near my life again, I'll make sure your next wedding is in hell." "Are you threatening me?" "I'm making you a promise. The same promise I made to Steve, the personal trainer, and Richard, the cabin owner. Cross me again, and I'll make the wedding reception look like a church picnic." I turn to leave, then pause at his car. It's a black Tesla Model S, probably worth more than my house. The kind of car that announces to the world that you're successful and environmentally conscious and better than everyone else. "Nice car," I say, unzipping my jeans. "What are you doing?" Liam asks, but I think he already knows. I take a long, satisfying piss on his driver's side door handle. The warm liquid runs down the pristine black paint and pools on his decorative driveway stones. "What the hell is wrong with you?" he shouts. "Nothing that a good divorce won't cure," I tell him, zipping up my pants. I take a photo of the wet car door with my phone, making sure to capture the Tesla logo in the frame. Then I walk back to my truck while Liam stands in his doorway, still holding the box of condoms and looking like his world just collapsed, which, to be fair, it probably did. By lunchtime, the photo is posted on the local Facebook group with the caption, "When you're Tesla shopping, remember to check for additional features. Some come pre-moistened." 3 hours later, I get a text from an unknown number. "We need to talk. Meet me at the house." I know exactly which house she means. Our house. The place we shared for 5 years before she decided our marriage vows were more like guidelines than actual commitments. I arrive to find her car in the driveway. Not the beat-up sedan from last night, but a rental. A red compact thing that probably costs $50 a day and makes her feel like she's driving a toy. She's sitting on the front porch steps, still wearing yesterday's black dress, but with a cardigan thrown over it. Her makeup is gone, her hair is pulled back in a messy ponytail, and she looks about 10 years older than she did a week ago. "We need to talk," she says when I get out of my truck. "Talk away." "Not here, inside." I unlock the front door and let her into what used to be our home. She looks around like she's seeing it for the first time. The furniture we picked out together, the pictures on the walls, the life we built before she decided to burn it all down. "I want to work things out," she says. I laugh, actually laugh, which seems to surprise her. "Work things out? You mean like couples therapy, weekly sessions where we discuss our feelings and learn to communicate better?" I know I made mistakes. Mistakes. I walk to the kitchen and open a beer. "Ava, mistakes are when you forget to pay the electric bill or accidentally record the wrong TV show. What you did was make deliberate choices to lie to me, cheat on me, and expose me to diseases while spending my money on hotels and spa treatments for your boyfriends." "I never spent your money on them." "Really? Who paid for the yoga classes where you met Steve? Who paid for the gas in the car where you screwed Liam? Who paid for the phone plan that you used to coordinate your affairs? She doesn't have an answer for that. The thing is, I continue, I'm not angry anymore. I was angry last week when I found out. I was angry at the wedding when I humiliated you in front of your family. I was angry last night when I destroyed your car. But now I'm just done. You don't mean that. I mean it more than I've meant anything in my entire life. I take a long drink of beer. You know what I realized while I was pissing on Liam's Tesla? I'm happier now than I've been in years. The constant lying, the gaslighting, the feeling like I'm never good enough. It's all gone. You did me a favor by cheating. I can change, she says, and now she's crying again. I can be the wife you wanted. The wife I wanted wouldn't have cheated in the first place. Please, she whispers. I'll do anything. I'll cut contact with all of them. I'll go to therapy. You'll what? You'll pretend to be faithful until the next good-looking guy pays attention to you? You'll lie better next time. She doesn't answer, but her expression tells me everything I need to know. She's not sorry she cheated. She's sorry she got caught. I walk to the front door and open it. Get out. This is my house too. Not anymore. My lawyer will be in touch about the divorce papers. And Ava? I wait until she's looking at me. Stay away from my family. If I find out you've been spreading any more lies about me to my mother or anyone else, I'll make sure every person in this town knows exactly what kind of woman you really are. You already did that at the auction. That was just the preview. I've got hours of audio recordings, dozens of photos, and text message conversations that would make a pornographer blush. Don't test me. She walks past me toward the rental car, then stops and turns around. You used to be a good man. I'm still a good man, I tell her. I'm just not a doormat anymore. The rental car disappears down our street, my street, and I close the door on 5 years of marriage and lies and wasted time. Inside the garage, I've got a 1967 Mustang that I've been restoring for 3 years. Every weekend, every evening after work, every spare moment I could steal away from playing the perfect husband. The engine's been rebuilt, the bodywork is done, and all that's left is the final coat of paint and some detail work. I fire it up for the first time in months. The engine purrs like a satisfied cat, all 289 cubic inches of American muscle ready to hit the road. My phone buzzes with notifications. More social media posts about last night's auction. More photos of Ava's destroyed car. More gossip and speculation about what happens next. I turn off the phone and put the Mustang in gear. Some women burn bridges. I prefer to blow up the whole damn village. The end.